quickly actually look at the actual announcement, just so people have got it clear and direct from PSA. We're talking about Chinese whispers. In effect, we're contributing to that right now. So let me read this through the best I can, and we'll see what we've got. So hello, PSA customers. Since my last update, the momentum behind the hobby has only accelerated. In fact, our Collectors Universe president and CEO, Joe Orlando, what a sick name, by the way, recently shared the reality of the surge of submissions to PSA. That's when he mentioned that they had 500,000 cards per business week, which is, I mean, 1 million a month. No, wait, no, 2 million a month.
No, yeah.
Quick maths, yeah. I'll try to further illustrate what has happened. The sheer volume of orders that PSA received in early March has fundamentally changed our ability to service the hobby. The reality is that we recently received more cards in 3 days than we did during the previous 3 months. Now, that is insane, right?
I wonder why they use that as a metric and not more in a day than we did in a month.
Yeah.
They
More
want
in a
to
month than we
expand
did
it.
in
They
a
want to
year.
expand it.
Unless they're looking at it on a quarter basis, right? Unless they're looking at the quarter numbers, and that's what he's thinking about.
That makes sense.
But let's just speculate here, and obviously this is speculating. I can't imagine it's like this. If they said last week they're getting 500,000 per week, do you think that is in 3 days? You know, and
I'll be
he was
honest.
looking,
I think it's gone up.
You think you think maybe it's like those 3 days were more than the 500,000 a week that they were getting, right?
Yeah,
maybe
I think so.
But the crazy thing is, it's not like the hobby was like in a low spot during the 3 months before.
No.
So it was high anyway. And then there's another 3 days on top. I can't. Can you imagine the outstanding PSA bills?
They do say
Yeah.
in like normally in 3 months, right? Or do they actually say in previous 3 months?
Previous, they say previous.
Oh wow! Because last time they said they compared it to like normally.
The old,
yeah,
it says previous, so that's 3 days in the previous 3 months. So we're still in the high.
Considering, I can't remember the exact statistics of that customer service guy, but he said that like January was up 80% or something over November, which was bigger than October, which was the biggest month they'd ever had. So,
And this is a sports remember, guys, as well. Like, obviously, we're a Pokemon podcast. You know, Great Gem, you accept all cards, but you know, Pokemon's always been kind of like the main focus, just because that was, you know, look at the background, look at Connor's cards. Yeah, so like it's not. I think one of the issues I think many people have is that they think it is just Pokemon, but it's sports as well. It's other TCG. It goes further than the Pokemon. But yeah, so even after the surge, submissions continue at never before seen levels. Given our growing backlog, it would be disingenuous for us to continue to accept submissions for cards that we were unable to process in the foreseeable future. It's an unpleasant conclusion, especially after the March 1st price increase, but it's necessary to properly serve the customers who have already submitted to PSA. Effective immediately, PSA is temporarily suspending our value regular and express service levels. This will allow us to fully unbox and receive the recent surge of orders and focus on our most impacted service lines. We will take a tiered approach to reintroducing these service levels. Our goal is to bring all suspended services back by July 1st, 2021. Collectors Club members will have, their membership extended. PSA's growth planning so they put in 58,000 square foot in, 62,000 square foot. Yeah, I see where you saw that now. Today we stand at 783 people strong compared to 421 in January 2020.
Can you make a point on that though? Like, if you think about it, 783 people.
Yeah,
that's not a lot. Like, just to put it out there, that is not actually a lot of people working on millions of cards.
That's one person per card that's got every 1.4 days. No, sorry, 10 cards per that person, right? No,
and that's not 1,000. Yeah, it's 1,000. I was going like, what are you talking about?
1,000 cards per person per 1.4 days.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
great. And they're not all graders either, right?
No.
You know,
most of it will be logistics. Most of it will be the boxes. Most of it will be deliveries out.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not surprised if like 100 of that is just the FedEx delivery drivers.
Yeah.
They're just dumping 500,000 cards a week on their doorstep.
Yeah, graphics designers, website donnies,
managers. Like, at the end of the day, you need people to manage these people.
An expert in Funko Pops.
Yeah, you're not going to have graders. What are we going to speculate? What, 250, 300 graders?
I don't even think.
Well, no, I don't think so because look, I mean, 421. Although to be fair, I feel like this number here, right? And how many graders are in there? I feel like this number, the increase, the difference between the two, will be a big proportion of that graders. I think.
I don't know, because it takes so long to train graders. Like,
True.
Before, I'm pretty sure their senior grading process training was like over 3 years.
Yeah, so you had the tiered
approach
to grading. So you couldn't be a senior grader unless you'd been there for 3 years.
Yeah, so like junior graders, I'm still going to say that needs 6 months at least. I don't know. But I think they only had the job vacancy up for graders once. I think everything else was like other stuff, customer service,
which is mind blowing, isn't it? All the way through.
The thing is, they can't let the standard drop, right? So you can't just bring in hundreds of people to grade, and then the grades are all over the place.
Oh, exactly.
Because then you've wrecked your brand. So they've got to be. That's probably the most important
for sure
part of their business. They've got to make sure
integrity,
consistency, and integrity, consistency, getting those grades in there that are exactly the same from grader A to grader B. He's more harsh than me.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Very close though.
We are
very close. So please also know that PSA is working on physical office expansion to new international markets, which is interesting, and for the first time, new grading locations in the United States. That's a big one as well, because even though in the past they've moved offices elsewhere and had different different locations, it would always be grading in California. Again, like you say, because they want to keep the grading consistent, and they want to make sure they can control that as much as possible. You can outsource certain things, customer service, graphic design. I don't know how else bring up graphic design, but you can outsource many things.
There's one graphic designer there, and you keep shouting him out, man. There's one guy.
The guy who made this logo.
That graphic design guy.
But it's much harder to branch out graders, especially elsewhere. So that's interesting too. This will help diffuse submissions across multiple locations and allow PSA to tap into new grading talent across the hobby. More information will be announced in the near future. That's pretty much it. This announcement puts out existing customers first. You have been extremely patient in waiting for your cars. This change will help you get your cars faster. I mean, yeah, like honestly, again, the same thing. All businesses, Grader Gem, a PSA. What do they want to do? They want to act as a service to their customers and get what they're offering done as quick as possible, So
I think a lot of people forget that. Like, we're happy to return cards. I think PSA are happy to return cards. Plus, they don't get paid to that point. So they want their money, and that means they want the return. The interesting point there is the one about the new grade. I mean, we can talk about the international markets as well, but the new grading locations.
I've got an
in the USA. I don't think they're going to be grading I don't think they're going to be grading Pokemon in different locations. No. Or sports in different locations. What they'll be doing is they'll be going, right, TCG in this location, sports in this location, because consistency and quality of the grading is the most important thing.
But this is what I'm thinking.
Go on.
So you've got senior graders, loads of them at PSA, right? Maybe, I don't know, 50, 100, whatever.
Yeah.
It's easy for people to relocate in the US. And the problem with California is it's the most expensive place on the planet. Like, the taxes are the highest out of any state in America. You could move that to somewhere like, I don't know, Delaware. And
Texas. A lot of people move to Texas.
Move it to Texas. You can
a lot of Californians, they literally, going to Texas.
To the Midwest somewhere. And you're not going to have to pay the massive taxes. You're going to have loads of land to be able to build space. And take 50% of your graders, your senior graders, I mean, and just give them a good bonus to move. They'll like it anyway. Big countryside. A lot of people like that stuff. We like that stuff. And they'll do it. They're not going to move all the way to Australia. They're not going to move to central Denmark. Like, they're not going to do that. But they might move, I don't know, 1,000 miles east.
To be fair, the private institution who bought them, they'll be very well aware of taxes.
Yeah.
And they'll know that. Whoever when PSA was made and created, it would have just been done in California, right? That would have just happened. And I think California was the very in place to be. I think now people care less about where it is and actually what's the most beneficial to that company. Yeah. And I have to agree. I think they probably will move to Texas over time, because they could just, how much is a 58,000 square feet facility in California?
In California versus Texas.
You could give a big kick in the face to people like CGC and move to Ohio, the home of comic books. Do you know what I mean? Just be like, we own Ohio now.
And put it this way, man. I mean, like, there are a lot of differences between the UK and the US, etc. But Americans do business well, right? They know how to kind of to dominate. That's what I say. And they'll do what they can, especially with the new owners coming in, because obviously if you're going to go and force a $700+ million buyout, you're going to have some tricks up your sleeve, and you're going to know a bit about running businesses, right? So you're going to do what you can, do what you know, and you have to remember, right? Like, I mean, we're still young in the whole internet age, really. Like, look at history. We're very very in our infancy still. So, I'm sure businesses like PSA started off one way, and now they're growing. Now they figure out they can do new things. Living in California 50 years ago is a lot different than living in California now, especially with the luxuries we have. Texas, California. Other than the landscape, what is different?
Stoned.
and that. And also, I mean, like, look, like, you got a Pokemon card. this is a Pokemon card, and you got a
that a
sports
Pokemon
card. Is a Pokemon card. That's not going to focus that nice now, is it? But they're completely different, right? As you have to remember as well, they're not the same card. When I've been looking at sports now, I know how to grade Pokemon cards. Or I can do the Randolph pre-grade, but I know what to look for. Mate. Sports cards, I don't know what to look for. It's so different. You put it in a sleeve, a piece comes off of it as you put it into the sleeve. So
you have to
the
sleeves wrong.
I am. No, I am. I think a lot of people in sports cut the sleeve, cut a little bit of the sleeve to get a little bit of access, but
get bigger sleeves.
Yeah, I need to do that.